Here the monster of the castle went to the man and shouted at him to tell him that he was ungrateful. Despite the hospitality with which the monster treated him, he proceeded to spoil the roses in the garden. Here the merchant shuddered and told him,
"I picked this rose for my little daughter."
The monster told the man that he would forgive him if his little daughter came to the castle. Here, the merchant had no choice but to return to his home and bring his daughter to save his life.
Hence, the story of the princess and the beast begins.
To begin the story of the princess and the monster, where the monster was waiting for her, the little princess was frightened by the appearance of the monster. But she quickly got used to it over time, and the monster began to talk to the princess and look at her with great admiration, and they became good friends. One day, the monster told the princess that he wished the princess to become his wife. The princess felt very surprised by the monster's request, and she did not imagine that she would marry an ugly-looking monster one day. She also remembered that he was gentle despite his ugly appearance, and that if she made him angry, he might kill her father. However, she refused to marry him with kind words without hurting his feelings. So that the princess would not feel afraid for her family, the monster brought her a magic mirror through which she could see her family while she was in the castle. Through the mirror, the princess learned that her father had been in critical health since she came to the castle. The princess began crying bitterly for her father and wanted to go and visit him. The monster agrees to let her go, but in the end, his heart softens and he agrees to do so on the condition that she returns to the castle after 7 days. The princess returned to her home, and when she saw her father's health condition began to improve, she began to tell her family about the monster's gentle treatment of her, and how she spent her day there. At the end of the 7th day, the princess saw in her dream that the monster was in a critical health condition, and that he was on his deathbed, so she rushed out of her sleep. She found him lying in bed with his eyes closed, and she began to call him and scream, asking him to stay with her, and telling him that she would marry him if he woke up from what he was in. And here the biggest shock occurred, as the monster turned into a handsome young man and opened his eyes to see the princess in front of him, where he told her that he had turned into an ugly monster as a result of ancient magic, and that this magic had disappeared. Because there was a princess who agreed to marry the monster he turned into, and here the princess was happy with his help to the prince. The story ended with the handsome prince marrying the princess, and they lived happily and peacefully.